Hey guys, my name is Natasha Gasma and I'm super stoked to share my script idea to you all for the upcoming miniseries Ramona Flowers versus the Girls. Now that Scott is officially Ramona's boyfriend, finally, her biggest challenge is now haunting her along the way, which is Scott's past exes she now must face. So for each episode, because there's only 6 episodes and each of them is 1 hour long, I want them to be focused on the battles between Ramona and Scott's ex-girlfriends. I want the series to begin with Scott and Ramona walking through the snow, just like in the Scott Pilgrim movie. Each character is obviously going to have their own different persona. Some may not have been an ex of Scott, but just a short fling. For episode 1, the main focus for this episode and all the other episodes is she trying to overcome this weird phenomenon that she had of her and Scott, which he overthinks his decision of dating her. She wants to prove to Scott that she is worthy of being Scott's girlfriend, and in order to do that, she has to battle his exes. Her first victim in this episode is Kim Pine. Now for episode 2, the second battle Ramona encounters is Knives Chow. You all know that Knives is the craziest stalker ex-girlfriend if you all watch the Scott Pilgrim movie. You should already know that Ramona and Knives already fought, but you know, Knives just never gives up. After beating Knives, Knives provokes Ramona in a way which kinda unbalances Ramona's self-esteem. For episode 3, the midpoint of the miniseries, Ramona faces Envy Adams. After Scott got rid of Ramona's ex-boyfriend Todd, Envy decides that she wants to get revenge on Ramona. This probably was one of my favorite episode ideas, which brings back all the recurring characters from the Scott Pilgrim movie due to Envy Adams is a famous singer. And this episode, Ramona and Envy end up having an epic karaoke battle. In episode 4, you get introduced to a new ex-girlfriend of Scott's. In this episode, Ramona starts to get tired of dealing with Scott's exes. One day while she gets a hot beverage from the Second Cup Cafe, she reads a threat message from someone to meet them somewhere or Scott will get hurt. This episode is more of a test or choice for Ramona if she wants to give up on Scott or is she willingly going to fight for him because she truly cares for him. In episode 5, I wanted to bring a scene related from the Scott Pilgrim movie. You know how Ramona had a phase with a girl named Roxy? Well, for Scott, he ended up having a one-night stand with a guy. You also get to meet Scott's old roommate Wallace Wells and his boyfriend Mobile. Ramona being upset with Scott finding out about this will end up battling this dude who is obsessed with Scott. In the final episode of Ramona Flowers versus the Girls, Ramona faces the strongest player. During the last fight, she surprisingly gets help from an ex from her first battle to help defeat the final stage of all the evil exes. After conquering all the battles, Ramona feels worthier and confident enough to receive the title of being Scott's girlfriend. And then it ends with Ramona and Scott walking through the snow. So in creating the new ex-girlfriend characters, I tried to find a way that would fit a timeline throughout Scott's life. Iris Salchow, a figure ice skater Scott met when he moved to Toronto. For the next one, Scott got drunk one night at a bar and ended up having a one-night stand with a guy named Julian. For the final new ex-girlfriend character, Daisy Bagel is a famous tennis player. They both had a long-distance relationship. They both made a promise to wait for each other, but Scott never was loyal to that. With Ramona and Scott's exes being the main cast and Scott being the side main character, here is some of the recurring and supporting cast members from the Scott Pilgrim movie that will be shown in the miniseries. I did want to add one new character, which was Wallace Wells' boyfriend, Mobile. Just a quick summary, the main logline for the show is, after Scott finished defeating Ramona's exes, it's now her turn to face Scott's wrath of evil exes. This is a quick gist of action for the viewers so they can become curious what the show is going to be about. If I had to choose one supporting character to focus her storyline on, it would have to be Kim Pine. Although she does have a sarcastic, expressionless personality, she does have her own way of showing her feelings and support towards other characters. Also, I wouldn't mind having a spin-off of a backstory of her, especially after Scott left her behind when he moved to Toronto. My initial target would be for everyone, mostly towards teenagers, adults, people who enjoy reading comics, playing video games, and who enjoy the Scott Pilgrim movie. If we did it for Scott Pilgrim, we could do it for Ramona Flowers versus the girls. If I had to add any changes, I would like to add more parts for the character Wallace Wells. Also, we can brand and advertise more merchandise and create a new playlist for the miniseries, which would be totally awesome. Thank you all for taking the time to listen to share my pitch idea I scripted out for the upcoming series Ramona Flowers versus the Girls. Hope you all got a kick out of it.